me, Jonah, or Yona with a Y sound. Please note that down for those that are new to this podcast episode. So this is about moving women forward community. Before I introduce our special guest, you might see the name on the tag. That's perfect. But I still got to do the introduction. So what is this podcast for? Our main aim of the podcast is to help 100 women in 100 days. This is not just for the podcast, but we as a community. So how do we do that? We help you moving from feeling stuck to empowered by amplifying your voices through strategic and expert-led support, visibility, opportunity, and why not meaningful networking. Now, the word meaningful has become a bit of a cliche, but this is what it is. The networking, it has to be strategically and done with proper intent. My first amazing guest for today, actually, I've got two guests, but the floor is for Giulia today. So this space is now for Giulia. Giulia comes from SAS or SUS or
SUS.
SUS, from
SUS,
SUS Wellbeing.
SUS. Yes.
Wonderful. From SUS Wellbeing, she's the founder of a sustainable luxury and holistic beauty brand rooted in genuine planet care. Now, I'll leave the floor to Giulia for the introductions and then we will crack on with the questions. Thank you, Giulia, for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Giulia. I have a background in bioengineering and a PhD in biomedical engineering. So very interested in the, understanding how our body works. I also have a cosmetic product formulator certificate. So I formulate my own products, which is linked to my business, of course, because I really, really love using plants, herbs to create beautiful formulations. I am, as you hinted, I'm a strong planet care advocate. I feel very connected with our world, with the planet around us. And in that way, I also feel quite stressed in some way from pollution, plastic, and what we generate through our daily life. And so with SUS, I wanted to create something different, something special, which could bring forward the idea of respect towards the planet as well as our bodies. Because we are surrounded by toxins and plastic the whole time, and we gotta change that. So this is a fundamental principle for the brand and something that I really support and care about. So that's me.
That's an excellent introduction. Thank you for that, Giulia. We had some a few weeks ago, actually a couple of months ago, one of the masterclass hosts in our community. She comes from sustainability. So we had some good questions from the audience, and it was very interesting approach how we can all make a change and how we can contribute to the planet, be it in a brand, in holistic products, holistic well-being, or even in a holistic approach to business. Now, Giulia, I've got a few questions for you. Right, we're gonna take our time, but first of all, I want to know, actually, for the audience, if that's okay with you, where are you based? Which place in UK are you based?
Yeah, I'm in London. I've been here for a long time. I love London. I'm in central London most of the time. So happy to be here, really happy.
Amazing. I think we should be catching up for coffee here at some point.
Yeah.
Or a cup of tea, whatever you want. Or a
cup of tea as
smoothie
well.
Amazing.
Definitely.
I'll go for the coffee anyway, myself. Okay, Giulia. So now we talk about helping women shift from stuck to empowered, but I want to understand from you, how can we prioritize mind, body, emotional well-being? And it's hard when we build businesses.
It's hard.
So how can we
It is
prioritize our wellness and well-being?
Yes. So I believe it is hard, as you just said. I myself went through a couple of burnouts, and that was a very instructive experience. If we start understanding that wellness is part of the strategy, I think that's hugely helpful, because I believe wellness is key for lowering stress levels and for nourishing the body. So if we think about the brain runs most of our life and also the decisions we make in our business. And so it's very demanding from an energy perspective. And so it consumes like 20% of the body energy, but it's only 2% of the mass of the body. Imagine. So it's very consuming. And if we work, and stress, because work often, turns on that stress cycle, we get foggy, we get more confusion in our mind, and we're not able to perform at our best. And so taking breaks could be going to the gym, could be taking time for yourself, everything that you enjoy doing in small steps. And maybe just 10 minutes could be, taking just 10 minutes break, going for a walk. It helps clearing that mindset, and so we take better decisions. With clear mind, we take better decisions for ourselves and for our brain, for our business. Sorry. One thing I notice very much is that while building businesses, we have an inner voice that tells us, oh, that's the right thing for you right now. That's how you should do it. That's the right path. But if we don't let that voice come up, because we are always working and we're stressed, we don't perceive that signal. And so I think that's a really important thing while building businesses, because inside we have a lot of answers, and slowing down help us, perceiving those signals and understand what's the right thing for us. Not just maybe do a checklist because we should do that because everybody's doing it. You connect deeper with yourself. The other thing that I think is really important is that while we do, for example, exercise or activities like breath work, we help regulating emotions. Exercise is a great way to just release all that stress that we have stagnant in the body, because we use our brain but not our body. We just stay sit. And as we do exercise, we release all of that stress and we regulate emotions better. We react differently to things. Like, I realize sometimes I get stuck and I'm like, well, this is a disaster. And then I go to the gym, I do all my workout, and I, take time for myself. I come back and I'm like, no, it's absolutely solvable. It's fine, right? So doing that kind of activity helps us translate ourselves from a place of fear and pressure, which we tend to feel because we stack up emotions one on top of the other, to a place of more purpose and drive and energy. And so that's where you want to be. So it is a leadership strategy for your own self, to include wellness and self-care into your life. So if we think that way, it suddenly become important, because yes, that impacts what I do, right? So that's what I think.
It's amazing. So Julia, before we go on with the other questions that I had in mind to ask you in this podcast session, I wonder, like, for example, this is not, maybe this is not even a question, but it's a conversation. So I want to hear your
Mhm.
thoughts on this side of our daily life. So we've set up an accountability group and co-working group, and we keep our members accountable, including myself. So I've achieved more, I think, since I set up this group, and this is going on from September, really. So after summer, because I saw that it was something that I was lacking, and other members were lacking in that moment. So, do you think that by being accountable to ourselves or to someone that we can work together with, doesn't matter if it's a business or a life project that we have, would you think that little bit of accountability will help along the way with looking after ourselves, prioritizing wellness and well-being in general? Would you think that is one of the?
I think it definitely helps, especially when you're getting maybe started, or maybe you are stuck in and you want to maybe move beyond that barrier, right? Because you potentially have friends that you can share experience with, and as you just said, they keep you accountable that, okay, you have done that. But we work as human beings very much in a repeatable way, so we get into routine quite a lot. And so when we make sure that we get something started and we follow up with it, then it becomes a routine for us. So if it's a blog, for example, at the moment, to maybe introduce those times at the gym, or maybe that times for yourself, or maybe achieve that step. Being accountable is super helpful, because then you start, practicing it over and over, and that then becomes something you do much more easily. It's not even an effort. It doesn't even, it's not that a weight as it used to be, right? It becomes natural, and then you harness the whole benefits. So I think it's really important to have someone that helps you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We agree on that. That's
Yeah.
good. So it's the ideal, let's say, the ideal environment to bounce back ideas and build that routine. That's amazing. Now, going back to the proper questions that I had planned for this episode, I want to understand a little bit. So we have women in the community that are looking to turn their passion into profit, gain their confidence back. I know we are not here to talk about mindset and how to help that, how to help the community in that respect, but I want to understand the role of self-care when for women that are trying, that are that I don't want to say the word struggle, but they are challenged to turn their passion into profit, challenged by environment, challenged by demands, as you mentioned before. So it's so much comparison out there. So what is your point of view?
Yeah, I think there is a key word here that is really important, which is confidence. And self-care is a form of self-love, right? So we, show love to ourselves because we care and we provide that care to ourselves. So self-love and confidence are exactly the same thing. So by practicing self-care, we boost our confidence. It is a process that is triggered the more we practice that self-care with our business. So when we are in a space with a lot of competition, we may be stressed. We may think of, okay, where am I positioned here? The confidence we have in us helps us, navigating those challenges because we believe in ourselves. And it also affects the quality of the thoughts we have. How big is our vision? Where do we want to go, right? And we need to believe that vision really deeply. So confidence, I think it's totally linked to success and to achievement. And that level of confidence that we practice on a daily basis through thinking about our own well-being, nourishing thoughts, positive thoughts, and being grateful of what we're doing, of who we are, and bringing positive emotions. And here I'm particularly referring to breath work because it's a very special way to kind of practice these emotions, which lead confidence, lead believe in yourself, lead positive thoughts. And so that is translated into your conversation with your suppliers, with people you work with. You bring that energy with you, and that impacts your business. So I think there is a deep connection.
I think I caught up something there, like along the lines. It's like the self-care not almost properly equals more productivity. So it also
Definitely.
clears up the mind, the body, and clears up things that are not so important, or let's say futile things, or ideas that we have. So it kind of prioritizes what's best, right? So it puts in a different perspective. That's
Definitely.
great. Amazing. Thank you, Giulia, for talking us and giving us some insights in regard. Now, what else? So, with let's say we are practicing wellness, or we are doing some rituals that can be mindset, even body and self-care. Uh, what would you recommend if we are in a career switch, or a business launch? So not just business launch as in a big vision, a big mission, but let's talk even if we are launching a project that we have. Now I want to call it little because it's little compared to the bigger vision, obviously. Yeah.
Yes, I think I would go back to what I just said about positive energy, positive thoughts that boost your confidence. And that is then reflected in what you do, because when you build something, it's that moment of something is coming together, whether ideas or whether you're starting a project, but you see, things moving and you're going to launch maybe a product, you're going to launch your service. There is a lot of emotions there. And I think breath work as an exercise, like even 10 minutes per day or 15 minutes per day. So it doesn't have to be like an hour long. It can be like a small session in the morning and in the evening is a really great place to take that break that we've been talking about, because breathing helps regulating our nervous system, obviously. So if we inhale, we turn on some alertness, but when we exhale, we release stress. So it helps releasing tension, and it helps us being present. And because it brings our mind to our present moment through that exercise, it's a way to catch your mind and focus on where you are and your feelings right there. And in some way, which I think is very fascinating, it helps us connect with our emotions at a deeper level. I notice when I practice breath work and then I hover over a positive idea, positive thought, such as what I'm doing, I'm excited about my project, what I'm working on, I get so happy. That happiness, sometimes we don't really practice it, we don't have time for it. It's an emotion that we don't really take out, but through that moment we can practice it at a deeper level. And practicing emotions, I learn, is something that is actually affecting your overall life generally. If we don't practice gratitude, positivity, and happiness, then those emotions just don't come back to us, because we just don't practice them. We just leave them on the side because we are busy doing other things. And so they stay stagnant, they stay away. Well, we bring them throughout our body. We can feel that, and then we feel it again and again and again, and therefore you feel really energetic, really happy. And so when you're starting or you're launching or you are in a moment of transition like that, I think it's great. It gives you that emotional support that you need. One thing I would say that works really well for me, and this is separate from breath work, is sauna. So taking sometimes for like a sauna, usually the hot sauna, they finish 80 degrees one. And what works very well is going to the gym, releasing all the stress that I've been having throughout the day and accumulating in my body. So it's a way to just let it out and oxygenate the body, the brain as well, because as you do exercise, you oxygenate the brain, like breath work actually, because you breathe very deeply. So you bring oxygen to the brain, which actually brings clarity, because it's actually the way the brain works. It needs oxygen, and sometimes we don't breathe very well as we work, as we talk. So going to the gym, do exercise, and then have that sort of 15 minutes in the sauna. And the heat from the sauna turns on the parasympathetic nervous system in your brain, which is your rest signal. So you have to rest, you have to relax in order to keep the heat around you. It's strong heat. You have to rest, and I would suggest just releasing stress and unleashing to that resting feeling. And it's really great because it actually releases tension in your body, in your brain. And after exercise, where you've been accumulating that sort of adrenaline and stress in your muscles because they've been worked out, then you release everything to the sauna. At the end of that, you are just in peace. So it's really, really great. Obviously, what that means is as you build your business, you take that half an hour of exercise, 20 minutes sauna is about an hour and a half for yourself. And that's mandatory. Obviously, there may be moments that you're like, okay, I cannot do it right now, but that's an exception, right? So it has to be religiously part of your life. And it could be maybe something else for you. If you'd like to walk, if you enjoy walking, you can walk to the sauna, whatever makes you feel good, because it could be personal. I'm just saying what works for me very well. And I do breath work in the evening before going to sleep, because I notice that switching off through breath work gives me a better sleep. if I go to sleep with all the thoughts of like what I've been working on, I don't sleep as well and as deeply as with breath work. So that's
Wow,
very helpful.
that sounds that sounds amazing. So like you built a ritual, not a
A
routine.
ritual.
It's like a
It's
ritual.
it is like every night I go and I turn on. I actually can suggest the breathwork exercises that I do. I follow a YouTube channel called Breathe with Sandy. Breathe with Sandy. And maybe I don't know him. Maybe one day he's gonna thank me because I make a lot of publicity for him without knowing. But he's incredible because, and I'm not the only one saying that. Like literally, it is written in all of the comments. Everything he does, my mom does it as well, and now it's a ritual for her. And he does even from 7 minutes to 25. So it doesn't have to be a long exercise. It depends also how you feel in that moment. Yeah. So yeah.
So everything is with a strategy in mind, isn't it? I like the word strategy. I talk a lot about strategy. I
Definitely.
talk a lot
It
about
is a
structure.
strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you build that routine, that structure around the strategy that you're planning to
Yeah.
implement in your daily life, doesn't matter business, life, whatever we've got in our daily plate, but it's everything all together comes down to building up a routine. So being consistent and being
Exactly.
more accountable to the work we do. Now, Julia, we are almost at the end time, but I want to touch a little bit because I was about to ask you what is one tip that you can give to the audience today, but you already
Oh,
shared that
okay.
through your personal story, so
Yeah.
your routine and your daily life. Now, I want to understand a little bit more about the sustainability,
Mhm.
how we can implement sustainability in our daily rituals, in our well-being. I understand by products, there's plenty of products, your products are amazing, but I want to get to how can we implement that step, right? There are many people thinking, I'm not able, it costs a lot, I don't know if I can source this product or I can do this other tactic or whatever they are planning to. Now, how can we do that in an easy way, if there is
Yes.
any?
Yes, definitely. So I believe that we need to start thinking about the products we use in a holistic way. So, for example, the packaging is part of the quality of the product, because if the packaging is made of plastic, it's going to release microparticles in the product, which we use. And that's how we absorb a lot of that microplastic through the products that we use, right? So, what we consume. So, when we go and buy a product, we think, imagine your wallet is like a way to vote, right? You choose products that also are in line with your ethos, hopefully in a sustainable it's a sustainable ethos, which allow you to make a certain decision. When the market shifts and people seem to be more interested and more caring, also the producers, the suppliers, and everybody's gonna turn on that attention, say, okay, people seem to be interested in more sustainable product. We need to offer that to them, right? Because otherwise they don't buy what we offer. So even if people think, okay, maybe I'm not going to have a massive impact, but together, working on those principles, we actually shift the market interest, and that impacts what the industry is going to offer to the public. So, for example, when I go to supermarkets, if I look for a product, I check the ingredients really carefully. I look at the packaging and I think, if I buy this, how do I get rid of the packaging? How do I dispose of the packaging? I started thinking about it before I buy something, because it gives you an idea of how then you're gonna potentially get rid of the packaging. So you start thinking about it. Okay, if this is maybe something we can recycle, I think that's great. If it's glass, it's even better. The more we introduce glass in our life, the better, especially recycled glass. So from a sustainability perspective, for our own well-being, using glass is really great. I found it really fascinating that recycled glass is much more energy efficient than than raw glass, than virgin glass, because the more we recycle glass, the more the process is energy efficient. So going from glass to glass is really energy efficient compared to going from raw materials into glass. And glass doesn't shred microplastics. So it's great for our wellness. It is great for our long-term health from a preventative perspective. Because I believe in the world we live in, we have been prioritizing convenience, and we've been prioritizing, easy comfort, stepping on top of preventative health. And so that's also part of your well-being strategy. So that's where the products that you use come into the picture, because what you use directly impacts also what you absorb. So I believe being more conscious and doing the right research when we buy a product. For example, is this company investing, for example, in reforestation, in certain areas of the world, in fair trade? Are they putting effort in using packaging that respects the planet as much as possible? I thought doing that research and making the right choices when you go and pay, you give a vote to a world that you want to have, if you think that way.
Just unmuting myself. Thank you very much, Giulia. You've given me some food for thoughts. I hope the audience has taken on board your advice and suggestions, and this is amazing, because we often are driven by convenience. Obviously, we are driven by what is available out there at the earliest convenience. Doesn't matter the sustainability or the quality, but we just want it at the right. We just want it right now, basically. So that needs some thought, and maybe we can also shift our urgency, how we perceive urgency in terms of
Yes,
using these products,
absolutely.
or when we rely on services, because this is very common denominator for businesses. Mostly when they run day to day, they think that I want it now, I want the result right now, whereas the results take a bit of time to be sustainable and be your ally in a long terms strategy in this case. Well, Giulia, we've come almost to the end. I'd like for you, so you have the space here to promote your business. I'd like to find for the audience to know where to find you and your amazing products, starting the sustainability journey right here, right today, by sourcing your products and checking that for themselves and seeing how the amazing work you are putting into your products and the passion, and how we will help them to be more, to look after themselves and be more in the well-being environment with intent.
Yes. So SUS is a brand focused on slow aging. And it takes a very holistic approach because, as I just mentioned, slow aging is also being more cautious about what packaging we use, because that impacts, obviously, microplastics and the product inside, which is what we consume, right? So slow aging also means understanding which ingredients are key for slowing down the aging process in the body. And the science right now is getting really hot on these topics because we are learning so much suddenly about what impacts our long-term health and what helps us prevent health in the long term. Right now, I'm focusing on two products that are topical. So a serum and a cream, which is a night cream, that are made with like 98% natural ingredients, apart from niacinamide and retinol, which are two types of vitamin-derived ingredients. The packaging is made of glass, and the labels is totally recyclable with biodegradable laminate on top of paper. And then there is a wooden lid. I'm also actively working on something, this is on the side, is a new material that can degrade really fast, and with the hope that that's going to become part of the product, and it's going to support the sustainability ethos. And I hope I will talk to you about this very soon. It's part of the project that I'm working on, because as I said, the brand was born from this desire to improve the world and the products we use, and that impacts our health. And that's where the slow aging concept comes in as well. So I apply a very big, very strict standard on which ingredients and what type of materials and packaging I use. Something that I would love would be out there. But no, you have to do so much work to understand what works for you. So in this case, what I offer is something that people can 100% trust and can feel, okay, this is good for me. I am happy with what I have right now. It just doesn't just solve the problem right there in an optimal way. It's also great for my long-term vitality, long-term well-being, and long-term skin health in this particular case. So starting with 2 products, and I have lots of ideas, lots of internal products as well, because I believe, for example, gut health is related to skin, and we are missing the point right now. So lots coming up, and I hope you'll find it exciting. So you can find me on Instagram at sus.wellbeing, SUS, and my personal page is Wellness with Julie. I can leave you the names as well, how it's spelled, so that may be easier for the public.
Yeah, pop them in the comments, in the thread, in the event thread. You can put them in the comments when you go back to the event page.
Yeah.
Or send it to me, and then I'll put them in the chat group for everybody to take a look, and why not start the sustainability journey today. I will also share that with the community. If you can send me those links directly to me, that would be great. Yes, so this is it really. Thank you so much, Giulia.
Thank you. It was a
pleasure. It's been amazing, and your calm manner, it helped a lot, because usually, guests feel nervous. I too feel nervous if I'm, if I see someone that is not as comfortable as you are at this moment. But this is amazing. I had a lovely conversation, and again, you gave me so much food for thoughts. I hope the audience has taken on board your recommendations and your advice. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Actually, retune at 12 p.m. UK time for those that are tuning in from the States. So we are back with another episode, and then the week after on Monday again with more episodes. Thank you so much, and catch up later, everybody. Thanks, Giulia. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.